Hello, fourth graders. This is Mrs. Flynn, and this is Geometry Packet Lesson 7. Our last lesson, we talked about triangles and how to classify them. And this lesson is kind of fun. It's a mystery shape search. So we're going to be reading clues and then guessing which one of these shapes matches the clues. So if you turn to the next page, it says use the clues below and the shapes on the previous page to solve each case of the mystery shapes. So our first clue is find a shape that has only one set of parallel lines. So if you remember from our lesson about lines, parallel lines are like railroad tracks. They stay the same distance apart and they run parallel to each other. So I'm looking for a shape that has only one set of parallel lines. So it's not going to be number 1 because that has 2 sets of parallel lines, the top and the bottom, and the left and the right. It's not going to be a triangle because triangles don't have any parallel lines. It's not going to be 5, 7, 6. Okay, so I think it could be 6 or 9 because 6 has one set of parallel lines. The left and the right are not parallel. And same thing with 9. The top and the bottom of 9 are parallel, but not the left and the right. So we turn back to our clue and we're going to put our number. We just need one answer, number 6. And then it wants to know the name of the shape. So I think that number 6 is a trapezoid or a rhombus, but of course I picked the hard one. I actually am going to turn back and look at my quadrilaterals. Oh, not a rhombus, because a rhombus has 2 sets of parallel lines. Trapezoid only has 1 pair of parallel lines, which is exactly what we were looking for. So 6 and 9 are both trapezoids. So the name of that shape is trapezoid. Okay, our next clue is find a shape with only one right angle. So a right angle is a 90-degree angle. Here's a right angle right here. The corners of paper are right angles. So we're looking for a shape that has one right angle. Okay, I don't see any right angles. Oh, here. That almost looks like a right angle, but not quite. I think this is a right angle in number 8. So that's a right triangle. Our squares and our rectangles, they have right angles. So I just need to pick one of those. So I am going to pick number 8. Okay, number 8, and the name of that shape is a right triangle. Okay, mystery solved. Our next clue is find a shape that has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so that would mean the top and the bottom and the left and the right are parallel. So a square will work, a rectangle will work, and so will the rhombus. And you can highlight. In my mind, I always imagine the lines continuing. So then I can say, oh, the left and the right, those are parallel. And the top and the bottom are parallel. The other thing I could do is look back at my triangle page or my quadrilateral page for shapes that have two sets of parallel sides. Squares, rectangles, rhombus. So that could help me too with the mystery. So I'm going to choose to use number 7. Two pairs of parallel sides, number 7. And that is a rhombus, RHOMBUS. I think sometimes we call that a diamond shape too. Okay, our next clue is find a shape with at least one obtuse angle. Okay, obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. So any shape that, here we have 90 degrees, any shape that is wider than 90 degrees, any angle that's wider than 90 degrees. So here is a 90-degree angle. We're looking for shapes that have angles that are greater than that. Okay, so turn back to our shapes. Definitely not the square and not the rectangle because they're made of all exactly 90 degrees. Not this triangle. Those are all acute angles. Not this triangle. Those all look like acute angles. Not this one. Number 6 has one obtuse angle right there. Number 7 has 2 acute and 2 obtuse. Number 8, no, acute, right angle. Number 10 has some obtuse angles and some acute. Okay, I'm going to use number 10. Will that work? Find a shape with at least one, so it could have one or more. So number 10. And isn't number 10 a parallelogram? Two pairs of congruent sides, two sets of parallel lines, two acute and two obtuse angles. Okay, number 10 is a parallelogram. Okay, our next clue is find a shape with all acute angles. Okay, I'm going to guess that's going to be a triangle. So this triangle is all acute angles. This is an equilateral triangle. This triangle is all acute angles. And that looks like a scalene triangle where none of the sides are the same length. Number 4 is all acute angles. And that looks like an isosceles triangle. So I would pick one of those, 2 or 3 or 4. So I'm going to let you finish that. put in your answers for the rest of the shapes. So if I do them for you, it takes all the mystery out. And I know that you guys are awesome math detectives and you can solve these on your own. And in your classroom, Google Classroom, you could comment like one answer under the assignment and see if other people agree with you. And tomorrow's lesson is about lines of symmetry. So I will see you tomorrow for lesson 8.